Good afternoon from Stratford, Ontario, Canada. I'm just taking a break in my work day to have a walk. Thought I'd do a little video. This is the Stratford Festival Theatre. There are other theatres in Stratford, but this is the main one. Like its older famous sister in England, the Stratford Festival Theatre is a theatre in the round. It has amazing performances every season, and it sits prominently on the shore of the lake and river that runs through the town. So I'll just take you along for a little walk. You can see the autumn colors. Got a helicopter going over right now. And you'll see how pretty this town is, and it's definitely worth a visit if you're in this area of Ontario. Even though a lot of the leaves have fallen, it's still very beautiful walking along the river. In the summer, the park has all kinds of events. You can take little cruises on the river. They have a pontoon and have live jazz. You can picnic in the Shakespearean Gardens, which we're going to walk on down to. See a play, go shopping. One of the many wonderful independent shops in the downtown. There's fantastic restaurants. You can rent paddle boats. There's art shows every weekend in the park. They have so much to do in Stratford. It's one of my favorite places to visit when I'm looking for antiques and vintage items as well. Just another pretty view from the walking trail. I found some free parking, but even if you have to pay for parking, it's quite cheap per hour, and there's a lot of lots. The walking trail is pretty flat, and it's mostly pavement, so it is accessible for wheelchairs, walkers, baby strollers. And yes, there are cars going by, but they travel pretty slowly along here. pretty is that? And this is the start of Shakespeare's Gardens. As you would imagine, in a place called Stratford, there is a sculpture of the man himself. It's in a rose garden, but the roses have faded for the year. Still a fabulous sculpture. And the plaque says that the sculpture was done by Cleve Horn, and it was unveiled in 1949. This is Shakespeare Gardens Gardener's Shed. I'm sure they have a much more modern facility now, but it blends in nicely with the area. And we'll just have a walk over to the gazebo. I remember coming here many a time for picnics. It's a wonderful spot for picnics. It has some parking right nearby. I've also seen weddings taking place here. There we go. Very pretty. I think we'll walk back through Shakespeare's Gardens, cross Waterloo Street, and walk towards the Tom Patterson Theatre and the Festival Theatre along the River Avon. It's the end of the season, but there's still bits of color in the garden. have to try and come back next summer when it's really magnificent. And that's that chimney. We'll go over and read the plaque. The gardens up by the Festival Theatre are just stunning, and I believe you can still do garden tours there. So the plaque says this chimney was erected in 1910 by E.T. Dufton for his woolen mill operated from 1874 to 1919 by the Dufton family. It's not a family I have heard of, so to do a little bit of research. Someone from Stratford people will have heard of is Justin Bieber. And of course, the story is so famous that he used to busk here up by the Festival Theatre, and that led to his discovery. Just seen a very sleepy little bee. Won't disturb him, but we're back to the rose garden. The sculpture of William Shakespeare. That's a bit better. Like the birds and squirrels have been busy harvesting the sunflowers. Biggest ones are done already. Sorry for the sniffling. I'm just getting over a bit of a cold that a fellow passenger very kindly shared with me on my flight back from Scotland and Ireland. This is the Stratford War Memorial. It was sculpted by Walter Allward, and he is also the artist who prepared the models for the Canadian Monument at Vimy Ridge. The upright figure represents spiritual man turning his back on the parting figure of brute force. It was commissioned in 1920. And Allward, who is long considered one of Canada's greatest artists, was designated by Canada as a person of national historic significance in 2002. Really is an amazing sculpture. So as we walk on Water Street beside the River Avon, this is another one of Stratford's amazing theaters. This is the Tom Patterson. I think I've only been to one play there. I usually tend to go to the plays that are at the Festival Theatre. This road is also called Veterans Way, since it leads you back to the memorial. Now usually on the river there are a lot of swans, but they will have been taken into their winter housing. And in the spring, there's a big festival here in Stratford, parading of the swans with kilty band, bagpipes, and all sorts of fun things happening. It's a very big deal here. Here's another look at the Tom Patterson Theatre. And we'll carry on our walk. It's not very busy today for a Friday afternoon. Seen quite a few Canada geese today, some mallards, and a lot of cormorants out diving for little fish in the river. Just take a look at the Festival Theatre before we go. It was founded by a local journalist named Tom Patterson, which another theatre has been named after, on October 31st, 1952, which means it's coming up on its 73rd anniversary. In 1953, they staged their first production, which was Richard III, and it was held in a concrete amphitheater with a canvas tent roof and starred Alec Guinness. In 1957, this current theater was dedicated.